1,000 years in the future, mankind is being hunted down and exterminated by a man-made supercomputer. A revolutionary new spacecraft is deployed to Earth in the hopes of destroying this menace before the human race becomes extinct. This is Soldice! Soldice is one of 12 games included in Evercade Cartridge 23, Renovation Collection 1. This game was originally released as Sol Feace on the Japanese Sharp X68000 in late 1990. About 1 year later, in late 1991, Sol Feace received a port on the Sega Mega CD in Japan and was actually a pack-in title for the Sega CD when the console was released in North America in late 1992. It was also a pack-in title for the Mega CD in Europe when it was released in 1993. In between the releases of the Japanese Mega CD and the North American Sega CD versions, in early 1992, Sol Feace received a port for the Sega Genesis in North America. It was pretty much the Sega CD version except stripped down to remove any of the enhancements the CD version offered. Also, the name was changed to Soldice, and I could not find any particular reason for this name change. This version of the game was only released in North America, and it is the version of the game included in this Evercade collection. The game's story seems to vary in details from source to source, but at its core it's pretty straightforward. Around the year 3000, a supercomputer called the GCS-WT was created, and shortly after going online, it became self-aware and eventually began hunting down and enslaving the human race.
Something very familiar about all this.
On the distant planet Silius, scientist Dr. Edwin Dease has been working on a spacecraft, the Soldice, with the specific goal of breaking through the defenses of the GCS-WT and taking it out once and for all. Just before the project was completed though, Dr. Dease was killed as a result of the GCS-WT's galaxy-wide manhunt. All that remains is the pilot, Eric Williams, and his gunner, Masaya Hatanaka. So humanity's future rests on them to take the Soldice and launch one last counterattack against the GCS-WT. Soldice is a pretty basic, horizontally scrolling shoot-'em-up. One hit will destroy your ship, and when you lose all your lives, you can continue from the beginning of the last stage you were on. Well, except for stage 6. From there you'll have to restart from stage 5. You can use 3 buttons on the controller, but they all do the same thing: provide auto-fire for your weapons. You can collect a very limited array of 4 different weapon power-ups during the gameplay. These power-ups can replace your main weapon or provide additional firepower mounted above or below your spacecraft. The main gimmick of this game is that you can manually adjust the angle at which these additional weapons fire. When you stop firing, these weapons will change angles based on the movements of your ship. If you move forward, both weapons will angle outward. Move backwards and they will angle straight ahead. Moving up will angle one straight ahead and the other one outward, and moving down will do the opposite. When you are firing your weapons, they will lock in place. The game overall is pretty basic, but there's nothing really wrong with that, I feel. The gimmick of angling your weapons is a simple concept, but I feel like it's the only thing the game needs to keep things interesting. Although it would have been nice to have more than 4 weapon types to pick up. It is nice that the game will always provide a weapon power-up to pick up right after losing a life, so you aren't stuck in a tight spot with only one immovable gun. It was also surprising to find that your ship doesn't get destroyed by bumping into a wall or the environment. However, it will bounce around awkwardly, and if you keep repeatedly hitting the walls, it will destroy your ship. The biggest complaint I really have with the game is that I don't really know where the ship's hitbox is. The ship itself is a rather large target, and it doesn't really feel like the whole thing is the hitbox, but it would have been nice to know where those boundaries are, since you can wind up in some tight situations. So yeah, it's a pretty basic, slower paced shoot 'em up, but being able to angle the weapons is a pretty interesting gimmick. So looking at the rankings for the game so far in the Renovation Collection, I'm going to take Soldice, and I think it's going to go on tier A around here somewhere. The question is where I'm going to put it. I don't think it's better than Granada, but I think I do like it better than Arcus Odyssey, so I'll fit right in between Arcus Odyssey and Granada here. And here we are looking at the rankings for all the games so far I've looked at on the Evercade, and we got to take Soldice and scroll on up to A. and find a place in between Arcus Odyssey and Granada. There's not much here, but let me figure out where exactly I want to put this. You know, I think I'm going to put it right above Missile Command and right below Granada. As for extras, well, I've got some cheat codes here that can make playing Soldice a bit more interesting. All of these codes require controller button inputs, and since the Evercade controller can be remapped, I'll be referring to the buttons as if we were using the original Genesis controllers. Now, for any of these codes to work, this first one must be used. At the title screen, press ABC, ABC, BC, BA, and if you've done it correctly, you'll hear a sound effect play. Hit Start and then enter the Options menu. There will be two new options on the menu. The first is called Start, and this is a level select option. To start the game at any level you'd like, simply select the level number and exit the menu, and then select Continue. If you select Start, you'll still start the game from the beginning, so you do have to select Continue. The second new option is Mode, and you can select either Normal or Easy. To be honest, I have no idea what the difference is, but if you select Easy and then just keep pressing right on the D-pad, you'll eventually get the My 99 option. When you begin the game, you'll start with 99 lives. Pretty nice, right?
Looks pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
But we aren't done with the mode options yet, as there's still yet another option hidden beyond My 99. If you hold the A button down and continue to keep pressing right on the D-pad, another new option will appear, Mudokai. You'll have to keep holding the A button as you leave the menu, because if you let go before that, Mudokai will revert back to My 99. So what does this do? Well, it makes you completely invincible. And that's actually what Mudokai means in Japanese. This option is for those of you who want to play through the game, but without that pesky risk of your ship exploding. What's hilarious though is that with this enabled, I discovered that most of the bosses will just self-destruct if the battle goes on too long. Now, if that all wasn't enough, there's just one more trick that can be done with this enhanced option menu enabled. As long as that code is entered on the title screen, at any time during the game, if you press the buttons A, B, and C together, you'll automatically skip to the next level. If you do this on the last level, well, you'll skip right to the game's ending. Huh, seems like there's an awful lot of ways to play this game without actually playing it. And that'll wrap it up for Soldice. Next time we'll be looking at Treza from the same cartridge, Renovation Collection 1.